Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Sun Up on 7. You've been asking for it, and here it is. Jules joins us on the couch for the Monday morning beef. Jules, your fan base is asking about you. We cannot be shifting things.
No,
on
we had
people.
a beautiful queen here, and they want the beast.
You know, because
Right?
you have to balance it out, man.
You
You
have
have
to-
to have beauty
I-
and ugly at the same
I
time.
think I am far more ugly than she is beautiful. She is very beautiful, but I am another case. But anyway, no, we're very glad.
But the beast had its charm too.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
The beast and the beef.
The beast also had hair though, so we have to like walk through that situation. We do have to work on that.
Wow.
You know,
We
he's
haven't
about
had
the
about
beast.
beast.
You know?
No,
I'm just-
she threw me under the bus, reverse it, and drive it
The
back.
comebacks, I cannot.
What
You know,
can
it
I
just
do?
comes to me. It
Yes.
just really comes to me.
How are you feeling today, Jules?
You know, there's a song that says, I wake at 4 in the morning when the darkness is swarming and it covers me in fear. I feel very anxious on Monday morning
Okay.
because I have to do this performance.
Performance.
Yes, this
But you
is
didn't
a
even do your whole impersonation or anything like that. So you didn't.
Yes,
perform.
but it's just how anxious mind work. I'm an anxious person, right?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Well,
yeah.
take a deep breath, and we're gonna get going with today.
Yes.
So there's a lot to talk about. Of course, the beef has been properly marinated, and there's so much to talk about that happened over the weekend.
Unfortunately, we have to start on an extremely sad note.
Yes.
Yes.
A young detainee has died in custody in the custody of Corozal Police. This is a young man who was picked up at San Joaquin
Mhm.
Fiesta
Yeah.
at 1:30 a.m. on Sunday morning. He had allegedly groped a female. So he was picked up by police, taken to the station, and he was left to die in the police van. He was left there unattended for 13 hours. When the next policeman got in the van to go fuel it up, he smelled a rotting corpse.
Wow.
Can you imagine how hot and airless the van was? This is a total failure in the duty of care. This is what killed my brother, led to his murder in a police cell 2 years ago. This is a failure of the duty of care. These are people who are incapable of human compassion. These, I really can't find the words because I've lived it, and this is unspeakable, man.
Yeah,
This is unspeakable to die in a hot, airless van. It's just unspeakable. I understand. I understand, but you can't. It's a total failure, and it shows that, I mean, something is critically wrong in the culture of the police department.
Treating
And
people
we
like
keep
animals.
saying it. Yes.
Where's the human?
Where
in
is
it?
the? There's no compassion. There's a duty of care. If you cannot exercise that, you must go. It obviously, I'm personally invested in this, but it's just a societal atrocity.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I saw it this morning, I just like, can't imagine that family's pain.
Yeah.
No.
To
Can you
think,
imagine him? You know, like just going through that your slow death kind of thing.
and nobody
And
cares.
that's
And
cruel.
nobody
Nobody's
cares.
That is a
paying attention.
cruel death in
No, it's
itself.
beyond a
Oh
human
my
rights
gosh.
violation. It's a spiritual violation of why we're here. You know, it's very hard to recover from, and it just makes everything else. You know, we have a lot of politics to talk about, but it's a tough and heavy subject. And my condolences, as deep as they can be, are with that family. It's unspeakable. I'm so sorry.
No, yeah. I just like got cold feet. Like I
No.
just started.
I go back
Yeah.
into where is the human aspect of how we treat people, regardless of whatever you think they did or whatever it is. You don't just put people in certain conditions you wouldn't want yourself in. Point blank. Like, we have to remember the human dignity to maintain and keep with people. We cannot treat people like animals. We have to understand the conditions we put them in and understand what that's going to do to their overall health and well-being. Like, we have to think like that. We can't just dash people aside like, what, a piece of meat or so?
Yeah,
It
I
has
think-
to be more than that.
I think, you know, we talk about all the screening that is required for the police department, but people need a compassion screening. We have to understand that we're a very traumatized society, and a lot of us are numb and anesthetized. And we have to see if people know how to feel. Do you
Yeah.
know how to feel?
Yeah.
Do you know how to feel for your fellow human being, regardless, I understand the police encounter a lot of difficult situations. People who are in a psychotic state, people who are inebriated, people who are but they have to exercise compassion.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult job, but that is the job.
Yeah.
There's no illusion about
And it's
it.
really like irresponsible. It's like, how would you forget you have somebody in a
A
van?
human being.
How? Yeah.
But not only that, common sense is something else you have to exercise, Jules. Because yes, compassion is wonderful, and I'm saying yes for that. But common sense tell you put somebody in that condition. What do you think will happen, Kevin?
Exactly.
What do you think will happen?
I mean, isn't it protocol that you have somebody in your van, you have to go and register them in the police log, take them to the cell, and all? Isn't this what the normal process is? So how would you just leave somebody there in a van and then forget about the individuals? Yeah. Is it because he grew up somebody, you're like, oh, because you did this, you must get punished?
Yeah, well, we don't know the circumstances, but we know the duty of care.
Yeah.
That's why you have power over people. Because you have power, you have power to take away someone's freedom. That means you have the duty of care to see them through, to shepherd, as crazy as it may sound, you have to shepherd them through to safety.
That's not saying the responsibility. That's the thing that, before even compassion screening, responsibility, you have a responsibility for this person's life too as well. They're in your care. What happened there?
Yeah. It's very traumatic for me because, they deliberately put my brother in a cell with a man who was a young man in a psychotic state, and my brother is 60 years old, and he killed him, right?
I remember that.
What would you expect? He had just come from, the fellow who did it had just come from stabbing a nurse, the nurse who was caring for him. What outcome do you expect? But
common sense, responsibility, compassion. It feels like these are words where we know we hear all the time, but do we actually exercise them?
Yeah, but
it's irresponsible in its
But
highest
it's a pattern
form.
that repeats itself, right?
It is. It's not
So
like
we're
it's
seeing a
not just
pattern.
come. This is not the first time. Oh my goodness. It's not the second time. Like, you have to say there needs to be an evaluation.
Yeah.
There needs to be more than an evaluation what happened right now.
Yeah. What sticks out is again, it goes back to the abuse of power that the police authority has. We've seen it, how they would go and raid people's houses, the brutality that's going on. It's the first time we talk about police brutality. It clearly talks about the kind of like a pedestal we've given them, that platform we've given them, where they take it as an onus. Okay, we have this power to do this to you. It really, for me, it goes down to that. You're right.
You can't question
Powerless
power.
people abuse power more than anyone.
I'm hoping the family gets justice in some way, shape, or form.
It's tough, yeah. But anyway, so that's a tough one to move on from. But move on we must. So again, our total condolence and sympathies, very deeply held sympathies, lie with this family. Certainly, we'll have more about it on the news tonight. But so moving on as we must, and again, we try to close that off. The Prime Minister had another one of his masterpiece performances on Friday. It's a masterpiece because, you know what? I'm done with this. That's what the Prime Minister likes to say, right? He bristled when we asked him questions, started throwing personal insults, untruths. He doesn't care because once he gets in a defensive posture, he does not know how to maintain his composure. He gets irascible. See, step where I know the answer, no more question. That you answer. Like, yo, that's not an option. That is not an option. Walking away is not. I understand. You had a football game, figure play. I saw him at a football game in Belmopan. Therese, I think we have that picture. I understand, but this is just a few minutes that you are answerable. Things are happening in our society for which you are answerable, and it is our duty. Citizens have a right to know, so we have a duty to ask. Yeah. Citizens have a right to know. Why are you giving Micah a scholarship? He tries to change the narrative, and he says that we should encourage, we should be proud, we should be positive. I encourage, I'm proud. I tell Micah I'd support him 1,000 times. But he already went to the voters to ask for a chance to serve. The voters said, yes, he was second or third in the polls. Yes, Micah, we support you for
We want you there. Fill out this portfolio.
Yeah, and then the Prime Minister is putting, he got an opportunity. You gave him an opportunity.
Yeah.
He got an opportunity out of political entitlement. This was not an opportunity. He brings in the narrative of the young man from Majestic Alley. All right, they got a lot. They got a lot. There's so many stories of downtrodden and oppressed people in our society. We have a 60% poverty rate. Don't turn political entitlement into social justice. You're perverting the meaning of things. And he's doing this deliberately.
Yeah.
I understand politicians have to obfuscate. I understand all these things. But my point is what I reject is that he's saying that this happened under the UDP and we did not hold their feet to the fire. That, Mr. Briceno, is untrue. I covered the UDP City Council for 12 years, 2006 to 2018, and hold their feet to the fire. We were on them every single day. I was on them. We reported on the under depositing. We reported on all the chaos in that council, in those various councils. I was the one who grilled Mayor Bradley for hours, excruciating hours of trying to get things out of him. They used me in their ads because of my questioning was so effective. And now you will. That did not happen under the UDP in the UDP City Council. No one got a scholarship to go study law. It may have happened in some other town council. We don't cover those as closely. We cover the Belize City Council closely.
Yeah.
And no one from Belize City Council got a scholarship to go and study law. And if they had, we would have covered it. That's what we do. We press anyone. We don't care. And I wouldn't be surprised if someone from one of the towns under the UDP got some scholarship. That is what the PUDP does. I am not saying anyone has moral superiority here. One is as bad as the other. They feed their loyalists with entitlement. Once you are loyal, you have some special entitlement in this society. Anyway, Mekano,
But
let me not
to
get...
be honest, it don't surprise me that they say how that this happened in the UDP. Because that's always the case. Like, you
Yes.
always say, well, you know something, you can't get back at me because I don't want to do it to us.
But that's why they
it's
vote for you,
always
sir.
a justification that, someone else did it. So,
Yeah.
why you never cover when somebody else did it?
But we did,
And
it's like...
That's the thing. That's they always try to dash it away. Instead of owning up to what you're doing, you're going to
Yes.
try to...
Yes,
That's
you're
somebody
not
else in the
governing retroactively. You're governing in the here and now.
Yeah.
These are the present issues. Does Micah have special entitlement because he's a PUP? He's a child of the PUP. That is really the question.
Yeah.
The other issue that the Prime Minister equivocated on Marconi Leal. I believe that Mr. Leal has abused the integrity of his office and this is what the UDP did as well. This was common under the UDP. By signing your name atop a customs appraisal form, you are saying, give me one Lee Bly.
Yeah.
Now, that that invites speculation. Because once you are saying, give my friend, I have an interest in this, give my friend, the guy clearing the vehicle, Mr. Villanueva in this case, give him a Bly. Why are you doing that? As a favor? Edmond Castro, when he was signing recommendations for visas left and right, said he did it as a favor. The then Prime Minister said he did it as a favor. That politicians are also all kind of things. This Prime Minister is saying the same thing. But once you are doing that, it opens to the possibility that you are doing it in exchange for some consideration.
Okay.
Perhaps the consideration is the man's undying support. That is fine. But once you do that, so politicians are asked for all kind of recommendations. That's what this and the former Prime Minister said. Obviously, they can't say no.
No.
So will I go and ask the Prime Minister, since they're asked for all kind of thing, the Prime Minister helped me import this vehicle.
But they were saying no
He
to
would
you.
not do it.
They were saying no to
No, but he would not do it. He knows better than that.
Yeah.
Dean Barrow knew better than that.
Yeah.
They know better than that. They know that is not something you can do because what it's saying is, allow me to use my influence to deprive the government of revenue. Like it's your business. What you're saying is, please give this man a discount for my business. The government is not your business, it's our business. You are an employee. You are there to manage the affairs of this business. So what you are saying is, please deprive the government of some type of revenue, of some amount, so that I can help my friend. What the hell is that? And this is a PUDP practice. It was widespread under the UDP, I am told. And I am told that Mr. Marconi Leal's name is not only on one customs entry, it's on more than one. So there are significant issues, but the Prime Minister tried to dodge them, and he did so using the exact same words of his predecessor. And when his predecessor did it, they said, fairly, they said, and this was fair, that he was covering up for corruption.
Okay.
They said that at the time, and I believe it was fair. But I believe Marconi Leal is in a acute situation, and the Prime Minister is now defending him using the same defense his predecessor used. So, but trading favors of a beneficial value to others opens the possibility of many things. This has a beneficial value. So we'll keep monitoring and we'll keep following up on it. And the other thing the Prime Minister got upset about was the Social Security Board Investment Cmte. They failed at their fiduciary duty, that they have a prudential responsibility to manage workers' money, again, not your money. Mm-hmm. And they approved a loan for Pharmacy Express, which we found out, thanks to the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the vigilance of the Chief Executive Officer. It says here that the Ministry of Health and Works objection was on the basis that presently Pharmacy Express Limited is not in possession of a pharmaceutical license to operate, and therefore the entity was operating without a license and should not be dispensing or supplying pharmaceuticals to the public. But they approved the loan. Man, that we can call Social Security's Investment Committee into question for approving that unanimously. But the Prime Minister, on the defensive and personal as he always is, will make a false comparison and tell Daniel Ortiz, but when you make a mistake in your line of work, you're just told to do better. He is a journalist. He's not managing $7 million in public funds, in workers' money. The responsibility is different.
It's different, yeah. Yeah.
Journalism is a human endeavor. Mistakes are made. I make mistakes. The New York Times makes mistakes. And they have a staff of more than 10,000. You can check their newspaper every day for correction. The Guardian UK makes mistakes. I will repeat, mistakes are made here.
Yeah.
We regret them. We do all we can to avoid them. But do not, Mr. Prime Minister, make a spurious comparison to managing tens of millions of dollars in workers' money as some sort of trivial thing that, well, you can just, No, man, you have to say, no, we're holding them to account. Yeah.
And
this is a failure.
That is an entire committee, right? So you have more than one heads coming together
everybody
to make a decision. So everybody was...
But he appoints the majority of the board is appointed by the Prime Minister. So you have to express some position. But I understand that it's politically dicey, whatever. But what I dislike is that he will turn this around into a personal insult and say, when you make mistake in your work, that is a false comparison, sir. Answer the question. Mm-hmm.
But that always happens. They don't answer the direct question because they try jump in a hoop and go somewhere else.
But what I dislike is his constant making false analogies to your personal life or to your professional life. When I ask him about Smart Stream, he said, I open up the records for your company when I was asking them to open up the Smart Stream. You, Jules, will not open up the records for your company. But Channel 7 is a private company. Yeah. That's a false analogy. Yeah. These are spurious arguments, but he just makes these arguments, and you can't challenge him because he ain't done the argument. Yeah. He ain't done the conversation. Anyway, I'm saying the Prime Minister has a duty to answer, man. Just, if you feel uncomfortable answering about something, just say, I don't really know at this point, I'll think about it, but you do not have to get combative and petty and personal. You are the Prime Minister, sir. Difficult questions will be asked. That is our job. Don't take it personal. I really like John Briceno. I like his frame of mind as a human being. I think he's such an active person, like he's at so many events, he's so publicly accessible, a sharp contrast from the previous prime minister. But why you have to go on like this every time we challenge you? Like, why you have to get like this? Anyway, it's our job and we won't stop. And I just ask him to be a little bit more patient.
So that means like with other like the other loans coming from Social Security Board, you really have to be perusing who they give the loans to. If you look at how questionable this company is where they're giving the loan, right? Are they doing the proper research and background to be able to ensure this is a legit company? Maybe they needed the money to get the license.
Well, my concern. Well, you know, the Ministry of Health has a lot to answer as well because they awarded large tender awards to the same pharmacy expressed through one of its sub companies or a company with the same owners, Medigen. They got large tender awards from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. So that has to be called into question as well. Of course, nobody know that because they don't publish the tender awards because that's for them business.
Right.
Publish the tender awards, don't make a start on that. But so, you know, and I wanted to mention one more point on this, that I think that moving forward, we certainly encourage the Prime Minister to just accept the 20 minutes of pain. He may think that we're massive pains in the ass, and we should be. That is actually our job, to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You should. We remember, we exist to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. Yeah. That is the mantra of the press throughout the world. That is our duty. That is our duty.
Or to program press conferences. That way you can prepare yourself for the questions that are going to come, right?
Exactly.
So you do not have to like get agitated, do these analogies that really make no sense, and then try to run away.
Exactly,
so
because you're in a defensive
you can
posture.
prepare yourself better.
Exactly. Yeah. You can do it in a more systematic way.
Yes.
Just answer these questions, you know.
Right. So moving on.
Make we end with my favorite subject.
What does the U stand for?
The U in UDP is for upheaval.
Yay! I feel like a cheerleader for some reason. Like.
Yeah. No, that's the UDP will bring that out in you. All your bad vibes cheerleading. You know, Patrick Faber did this post this weekend.
Oh yes.
And you know, it's the height of nonsense when you illegally remove a winner to replace her via unconstitutional process with a man who barely got 500 votes in the general election. Are we really serious about fixing our party? How can a novice lead the largest, traditional, most important region of our country? We have tried to discuss these idiotic moves privately in our party to no avail. Let's have people know the nonsense you insist on doing. You know, so this is the Central Region Coordinator. Tracy Tager-Panton was the Central Region Coordinator, and they have replaced her with this next gentleman who ran for Fort George, who is so obscure I can't remember his name offhand.
Melvin
Hewlett. Yes.
Hewlett.
Melvin Hewlett. Right, Melvin Hewlett. So Melvin Hewlett, no, but that says a lot, and I'm a political insider. I've never interviewed Melvin Hewlett.
Okay.
I don't think on Channel 7 maybe we've had one interview with him in a political capacity. This is a joke, but let us be clear. He not Patrick Faber, boy, the Patrick Faber put in there. This is how diseased the UDP is. Eating their own young, right? Because it's Melvin Hewlett exists as a Patrick Faber loyalist. That's how he was put there. Of course, things have changed, but I'm saying that it is farcical to put Melvin Hewlett, who does not have a ghost chance in hell of winning in the Fort George constituency. That is the PUP's second safest seat in the city. Lake Eye is the safest. And I'm just saying, it's a really... I understand Tracy was removed because he wasn't attending meetings or some of their internal disputes. But I'm saying that Tracy is a senior member. She's an elected member of parliament. She won a formidable election against a formidable challenge in Albert. She's a serious senior politician. To replace her with Melvin Hewlett as regional coordinator at a time when you're trying to rebuild the party is indeed farcical. But Shine, Tracy, and Patrick cannot work out their differences. And this is a symptom of that. They are so pathologically diseased, the UDP, that they are unable to fix their difficulties. It's the level of disputation in this party. We interviewed Mayor Trapp last week, Monday or Tuesday, and he said it right. The party is at a point where it can splinter because there is so much disharmony and disunity, and the U is for upheaval. It's really a lamentable state of affairs, and it's only getting worse, despite significant efforts made by Shine Barrow to try and bring these. They can't get it right.
Yeah. Maybe we see a new party coming up.
You know, I don't know what to say about it because it's really, you know, the UDP has splintered before back in 1992. They broke into the NABR and the UDP, and it was all for naught because they joined right back up. I don't know, but they will continue to be an ineffective opposition and not a real prospect for political success once this continues. And it's been continuing. So,
with that,
yeah.
You're done?
I'm done.
You're done. You're calm a little bit now.
I want to mention though that two last things, and one thing we're looking at very closely is this situation in the BDF. There are allegations of serial sexual abuse and bullying. We know that there has been a suicide, Private Micah Mogale, and that's a situation that, you know, once suicide is involved, it's complicated.
It's complicated.
But there are reports of serial abuse. I know now that the Ministry of Human Services, Women's Affairs, is working with the ministry to appoint an investigating team. What happens is that the power in the BDF is concentrated among men. And I think the investigations have been challenging.
yeah.
It is.
Because they have a hard time. There's a lot of distrust.
Because some informal reports have come in, right?
Informal reports, but no formal report. And that's the thing. And I know when we had...
Well, there have been formal reports. There have been formal reports, but there are a lot more anecdotal or informal reports.
Yeah,
But I have seen a document stating formal reports made against certain persons.
But like those are like 2 years ago too as well.
Yes, exactly.
So we're looking for investigating now. We also have to look at now. And again, the distrust, will you come forth and say something? Why aren't you coming forth and saying something, especially if this is something that's plaguing you, your colleagues? And we've had people in the comment section when we were talking about this, about the investigation to take place, that people aren't going to talk. People aren't going to talk. People have said that. So it's going to be a challenging investigation, but it's a needed investigation.
Yeah, but I think outsiders have to come in and do it because there's something that the women feel. There's systematic abuse coming from the top
and then
this patriarchal
and
BDF.
the right support system for victims to be able to share, right? So there needs to be something that says, you know, you can rest assured that you can go and make this formal report and we got your back.
Yeah.
Right. So
there's some kind of...
there needs to be something.
But if there is indeed this serial abuse that allegedly happened with Private Mogale, and we have heard extreme stories of serial, systematic, recurrent abuse, if that is happening, there is something so wrong in the culture that it has to be, again, it's like in the police department. You have to break things down to try and fix it, if that is the case. And those are the informal, anecdotal reports. We are investigating it.
We do know that Human Development has sent in some officers too as well to be able to be a part of it. So that is good news to see we're having that aspect in. But again, we have to see where this is going to go.
Yeah.
Definitely. But thank you, Jules, so much for this on the morning beef. As Kevin said, the fans may look for it and say, wonder what Jules there? What happened? And Jules there right, you guys, ready? I was like, Miss Universe believes.
Miss Universe.
Come on, Jules, get it together.
I'm from the 80s.
But with that, guys, we're going to go to our next commercial break. Thank you so much, Jules, again, for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you, Jules.
I do want you to know that people want you to do at least for shimmy because you don't want to do a dance off.
Hey, your dance was kind of limp this morning. I don't know if that is sung.
It was a song.
This song, you know, this song, because you have to do like a little cruising.
Rowry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to vibe it up.
You see, I never pick it because when I pick it, you know, it's always...
No, a big vibe.
vibe.
Big vibe,
Big
big
showdown.
So
All right, okay.
we do have a sunrise to share, and Brandon is so nice to send us a sunrise from his vacation.
Yes, look at
should we
that.
disclose the location?
Should we do
or-
this? They're not like going to travel there. It's
Right.
Costa Rica.
Yes, so Brandon, thank you so much for thinking about us and sharing this space and this sunrise. And continue enjoying your vacation.
Yes,
Continue
please
enjoying it. Yeah.
enjoy. Eat it up, Brandon. You deserve it, honey bun.
Definitely.
And with that, guys, we go to our next commercial break. But when we're back, looking so much forward to this conversation, we have Madam Justice Lisa Schumann in talking about digitization in the courts. We're going to be looking at the pros and cons and all the nitty-gritty of this process. So stay tuned. If you have any questions, please make sure you send it in the chat. We're going to try our best to be able to address it. But without any further ado, enjoy the commercial break. Until then, we'll be right back.